Pauline! Come on in. We're just about ready to serve dinner. We're so glad that you were able to make it. Oh, thanks, dear. Of course I wouldn't miss an invitation to have dinner with my daughter and her husband. I was out with some friends today, but it was just a little bit of gossip. We met up at Adeline's house and sat around chatting. There was nothing too much more than that. But that's the kind of fun that old girls like me can have. There was nothing so important that I couldn't leave early and join you here tonight.
Thanks, Mom. Good to see you. Are you hungry? Dinner is ready, but we could delay eating a bit if you're not hungry just yet.
Oh no, I'm ready to eat. Let's go straight to the dining room. That's good. It's better to eat when the food has just been cooked and is still hot. I think that it doesn't taste quite the same once it has been warmed up in the microwave. You are right in that. I don't even have a microwave at home. I just don't trust them, you know. They might be convenient, but everything just tastes a little off when it comes out of the microwave. Nothing beats a good pan and stovetop in my book. Or maybe a proper oven. We also try not to use it if we can help it. But sometimes it's just so quick and easy to stick something in there and warm it up in just a few minutes. Especially if we both come home tired from work and just don't have the energy to make anything proper to eat. Oh, has work been busy for the two of you? How is it all going?
It's been nothing short of a nightmare. I have been staying back late more and more as the projects pile up. We do try to rotate who stays late on any given day, but sometimes not everyone is qualified to work on a particular project, so it ends up in my lap again.
Oh no, that really does sound like a nightmare. Is there anything you can do to not have to stay late so often? It's not right that your employer makes you work after working hours. Aren't they supposed to only pay you for the hours in your contract? Isn't there anything in there that stops them from getting you to stay late?
Technically, we shouldn't be staying late, but it's a little bit of a gray zone when it comes to that. There's some sort of understanding that you should stay late at least sometimes, otherwise you're not a team player or whatever. They love to use that word to make you feel guilty.
My old job used to do the same thing as well. I hated it, and there was no one else on the team that would have felt upset if we all left at the right time. It was just a trick that management used to use in order to guilt trip us into working longer hours.
Yeah, at least I get paid for it though. It's not unpaid overtime or anything like that. And in one sense, if we didn't do it, we would be even harder pressed during regular working hours. It's just one of those things. At the very least, I hope all the hard work that I do leads to a promotion. Or some sort of pay raise. I'm not going to be holding my breath on that one, though.
Oh dear. That doesn't sound very nice to me. But Brad, how is the business going? You must have to be doing a lot of work to get it started up as well. It's not doing too bad at the moment, but you're right, there is a lot to do. It's still fairly new as well, so I don't have a whole team of administrative staff to help me out. Almost all of the operations have to be done by me. It's not so bad at the moment since the business is still small, but once it gets up and going, I will have to start hiring new people. But even having said that, I would rather work 16 hours a day working for myself than a regular 9 to 5 working for someone else. I don't regret leaving my old job even for a second. And sorry, could you just remind me again exactly what it was that you were doing? You were starting to publish some articles, if I remember correctly. Not exactly articles, but I have opened a small publishing house that focuses on lesser-known books. It's a little bit of a risky endeavor since there are some real powerhouses in the industry, but I hope to fill a little bit of a niche and do some nice business. And has it been going well? When I think of books, I usually just think of buying them on Amazon. They're cheap and fast, and I don't even have to leave my house to get them. They show up at my door and then I am ready to go. What could be easier than that? Amazon is the real big fish in the game, that's for sure. But at the same time, since they focus on volume and selling as much as they can, the quality can sometimes be really poor. I don't know if you have ever noticed, but the print quality of the text and the covers is really low on some of their titles. It might not bother some people who just want to get something cheaply and quickly, but for those who like to have nice copies of books for their home libraries, it's not the best option.
Oh God. Let's not talk about this too much. Sorry, Brad, but you know that you can talk about books for hours and hours on end. And I have heard this all before as well.
Yeah, I know. That's all I will say about it. In short, Pauline, everything is going well for the time being, and I hope that things get even better as time goes on. Well then, I am really glad to hear that. How was your day, though? You said that you caught up with some friends. What did you get up to? Oh, yes, it was quite nice. Like I said before, we just went over to a girlfriend's house and drank tea and chatted for a few hours. Nothing too special, but it's good for the oldies like me to get out of the house from time to time. Oh, come on now, Pauline. You're not old just yet. There's no need to call yourself that. Thank you, Brad. But I know better than anyone how old I am getting. These old bones are creaking and my back hurts each day when I get up. But let's not talk too much about that either. You will know what I am talking about when you get to my age. The nice thing that we really talked about a lot today was my friends' grandchildren. They showed a lot of photos of their grandkids and they were just so adorable. Adeline has 2 grandsons and now a granddaughter. And then Denise's daughter just gave birth to her first child as well. A girl! They named her Sophie. Isn't that a lovely name? She's such a cute little thing. Her feet and hands are just so small and adorable. I thought my heart would burst looking at her. And that's only the photos. Imagine how sweet she must be in real life.
Babies really are the cutest. Some of our friends are beginning to start families now as well. I also just love the little clothes and shoes that they have.
Yeah, you're right. But it's so funny to me sometimes that you can buy a baby a pair of Adidas or Nike shoes. I mean, it's a baby. Why do they need branded shoes that they will grow out of in a month or so?
It's because they look so cute in them. Even if they don't need them for long, there's only one chance for you to get photos of them wearing something like that as a baby.
All right. I still think it's a bit silly to spend so much money on something like that. The baby shoes cost almost the same amount as a real pair. But what about you two? When are you going to give me some grandkids so that I can bring their photos along and brag about how cute they are to the girls? I'm always the only one who can't really add anything to the conversation when they get started. And I just know that your kids would be by far the cutest. I would be such a proud grandma showing them off to anyone who would listen. And even if they don't want to listen, I would make them. Oh, we're not ready for kids just yet, Pauline. You will have to wait a little while longer yet.
Yeah, Mom. I told you before, remember? We're still going to focus on our careers and ourselves first to make sure that our baby has the perfect home to grow up in.
We know that raising a kid is going to take a lot of time and effort, and also money. So we want to make sure that we're as ready as we can be before we start a family. Oh, rubbish! You will never be fully ready to have children. There's no such thing as the perfect home. Once you feel like you want a child in your life is when you should act. The clock is ticking on these things, you know. You might think that you have forever. But before you know it, the time has run away from you and you're left wishing that you had had children sooner. Oh, I don't think we need to worry so much about that right now. We're not even 30 yet. We still have plenty of time. And it's not like we're putting it off forever. We've discussed it at length together, and we're happy with what we decided. Like I said, you think that you have the time, but then you won't have enough of it no matter what. You should really think about having kids sooner rather than later. That way you will also be young and healthy while they're growing up. Mark my words that this is the best thing for you to do. And I want to still be alive to see some grandchildren and baby them. If you keep waiting as long as you have been, I will be in the dirt before I even get to lay my eyes on them.
Don't be silly, Mom. You're not that old, so stop pretending that you are. You're going to be around for a long time still.
Yeah, don't worry, Pauline. You will definitely get to see your grandchildren in this life. I don't believe that for a second. You need to hurry it up. I don't want to be the only person in my friend circle who doesn't have any photos to show. If everyone else's kids have started families, what's the holdup with you two? If anything, you should have had kids already. I can kind of understand how you feel about it, Pauline. But in the end, like I said, we have already discussed this and we're not quite ready yet. Let's talk about something else, though. We don't want the conversation to get too heated.
Brad is right. Let's leave that topic for now. We can always come back to it if we want to. Are you done with your food already, Mom? Here, let me take your plate and clean up a little bit. Then I can make something for us to drink and we can even put something on to watch while we chat.
Wow, your mom was really something tonight, wasn't she? I don't think she has ever been like that before. I wonder what changed for her to start acting in that way.
What do you mean? She wasn't acting in any sort of way, was she?
Are you kidding? I'm talking about how pushy she was being about us having kids, saying that we should have started a family already and all that sort of thing. I understand that there is a kind of biological clock that can make having children harder the older you are, but that's nothing for us to worry about. I'm only 28 and you're only 27. We both have tons of time left to worry about that later. And just because her friends were showing her photos of grandchildren, is that really why she decided to go on like that?
I don't know why she started doing that. She was more pushy than normal, you're right.
I know, right? I was sure that she knew about our decision to wait until we were in a stable position and for sure knew we could start a family. You told her about that after we decided it, didn't you? I remember you telling me that you did.
Of course I did tell her. That was a few years ago, though. Maybe she thought that we were stable and ready enough now. Or as ready as we will ever get. But you know, Brad, maybe I have something that I want to say about that.
What do you mean? What is it?
Mom might have been a little too strong about it in the way she was talking, but I think that she might have a point.
What do you mean she has a point? What point does she have?
Come on, you know what I mean. Maybe we should think about having a baby, about starting a family. We have been getting ready for it for a while now. Maybe she is right. Maybe this is as ready as we will ever be.
Where is this all coming from? I thought that we had decided together that we would wait until we were both stable, or around 30. We thought about this for ages before we decided to wait. We are supposed to be focusing on ourselves and our careers. We won't have anywhere near as much time once we decide to have a baby.
We did say that, but that was, what, 2 years ago? 3 years ago? Things change. Now that I am thinking about it, I think that my mom is right. I think that it is time for us to have a baby. And I don't mean sometime in the future. I mean like soon.
You can't be serious. Did she really convince you that easily?
Why are you so against it? I thought that you liked kids and wanted to be a dad. Was that not true?
Of course it was true. I do want to be a dad, but not right now.
Why not? What's wrong with now? What will be different when we're 30 years old? Will that make so much difference, do you think?
I do think that. I mean, look at our jobs right now. You're working overtime every other day, and I am up to my ears in work as well with this business. When are we going to have time to look after the baby? And before you say that we can hire a nanny, we both decided that we didn't want to do that. We wanted to be there to look after the baby ourselves, and I still think that that is the right way to do things.
I know that, and I do think that as well. But if I have a child, then I wouldn't be working that much anyway. I could quit my job and then have time to care for them while you are working.
But it's not just about that either. I mean, the new business is going well, but it's going well for a new business, if you know what I mean. I don't think that we can reliably say just yet if it will be successful enough to support a family on, especially if you quit your job.
I thought you said that you're confident that you will be able to make it succeed. What happened to that confidence? Why does it disappear only when you can use it as an excuse to not have a kid?
What? Are you really accusing me of doing that right now? That's not what I am doing, believe me. But there is a difference between it doing well now and doing well in the future. It can take literal years for things to stabilize. Once I have a good catalog and have sorted out a good system with the printers and distributors, things will be different. But we're not big enough right now for me to be able to do that consistently. I have to be in talks with everyone at every step of the way. Even one mess up could lead to really bad results for me and the company. I just don't want to have the baby while that is a possibility. What if something really bad happens to the business and then you don't have a job at the time? We would be in real trouble.
But that's the nature of business. That could happen at any time. Now or a few years into the future.
That's true, but it's more likely now when I am just starting up than when I have established it a little more. A lot will be different in a year or two. We also have the mortgage to think about as well. That's not a small amount of money that we are paying. And if you quit your job, then all of that will have to be covered by the business, and I don't know if that's super realistic right now. I wish it were, but I don't know if it is. In a couple of years' time, I do think that everything will be more stable and I won't have to do everything on my own. But right now is different.
And won't you just have some other excuse in a few years' time when everything is stable? You can say whatever you want about the publishing business. It's not like I know about what's going on there. And the mortgage is still going to be around a few years from now as well. We're going to be paying that off for ages still to come. Next, you'll be telling me that we can't start a family until that's paid in full.
I'm not going to say that. I know that there is still a lot left on it, and that's exactly why we have to be smart about these things. And I wouldn't lie to you about something like that. I'm always quite open with you about how the business is going, even if you don't know all the details. And this isn't even anything new what I am saying now. You have heard this all before without us talking about a kid. This is just how it is right now. I think it would be a mistake to have a baby now and then not be in the right position to spend enough time caring for them. I don't want to be the kind of father who is absent at the beginning, or at any time for that matter, just because I am busy with work. But as it stands, it's all work that needs to be done by me because there is no one else to do it. As the business grows, that will change, but that sort of growth takes time. It's not even a matter of me working harder for a while.
Fine, I won't mention it anymore tonight. But this is something that I have changed my mind on. I mean, our decision to wait. I want you to at least think about it.
How about we revisit this later? And I don't mean tomorrow because nothing will have changed in that short amount of time. I can understand how you feel, but changing what we plan to do in one night doesn't seem like the right thing to do for me. Now, let's get some sleep. Both of us have a big day ahead of us tomorrow.
Good morning, honey. Do you have a moment to chat right now? I know that you've been busy recently. If now isn't a good time, I can always call you back later on. It's not a problem.
No, Mom. It's fine. I was just about to take an early lunch break anyway. Even if it's busy, I can still give myself breaks when I need to, as long as the work gets done at some point in the day. It's all fine. What's going on? Did you have something to tell me?
I did actually, yes. So earlier this week, Julia dropped by the house to have a chat with me. It was nice to see her. We often only talk when you're around. I didn't expect her to show up all on her own at my house.
She did that? Really? She didn't say anything to me about going to visit you. When did she even have time to do that? She was supposed to have been working late most of the week.
Well, she came by on Wednesday evening, if that means anything. At around 7 p.m. I don't know if that's working late for her or not, but that was when she came.
That's strange. She told me that she was at the office until 8 p.m. that night. But whatever, it doesn't matter now. What did she drop by for? It's not the kind of thing she usually does. If she has some free time, she tends to use it to relax at home these days.
Like I said, I really didn't expect it and was quite surprised when I opened the door and found that it was her who rang the doorbell. Anyway, she came in and I made her some tea and we talked a little.
Well, that sounds nice to me. Why is this something that you felt you needed to tell me about? Maybe it's a little strange that she didn't tell me that she saw you, but that's about it.
It's what we talked about that I was a little uncertain about. She told me that the two of you were planning to start a family soon. You had always told me that you were going to wait a few more years and that was the decision that the two of you had reached, so I thought it a little strange that all of a sudden you had changed your mind.
What? Did she really tell you that? As far as I know, we haven't changed our minds about that. Did she say anything else?
I thought that it sounded unrealistic, so I asked her about it. I asked her if something had happened to make you change your mind. I know that you're very organized and usually don't change plans unless something really happens to make you. Or if you decide based on the current circumstances that there is a better choice to take. Well, then she told me that you still weren't ready to have a child, but that she had decided that she did want to start a family.
We did have a short conversation about that where she was leaning towards having a kid earlier than we talked about. But there definitely wasn't any sort of decision made at the time. I don't know why she is saying that I want to have kids now.
Right. Well, she had actually come to talk to me because she wanted me to try and persuade you to have a kid earlier than you had planned. That's why she also didn't tell you that she saw me, I am guessing. So that you thought that everything I said was just my own thoughts and not something that she asked me to do.
You're joking, right? She's asking you to try and persuade me into having children now? Isn't that kind of manipulative? So, is that what you're doing now then? Trying to convince me?
No, of course not. That's why I'm telling you what she asked me to do.
I know that you have made up your mind, and I am not going to go behind your back and try to trick you into making any rash decisions. But I did think that you should know that she has obviously changed her mind about the whole waiting thing. You should really have a talk with her so that you're both on the same page. I see. Thanks for telling me. I know what has happened, kind of. Her mom, Pauline, came over a few weeks ago for dinner and was being quite pushy about us having kids now and giving her grandchildren. She had just been with some friends catching up, and they were apparently all showing off pictures of their grandkids. That was the night that Julia and I had a talk about it a little bit. But like I said, nothing was decided at all. I think that she might be feeling a little pressured by her mother right now. I don't know if it's really her own feelings or she just wants to please Pauline by giving her some grandchildren. If it's the latter, I really don't think that's a good reason to start a family. We should do it on our own terms and when we're good and ready. Well, pressure from parents can be quite tough, and that's why I will never pressure you like that. My own mom, your grandma, did that when I was around your age. It was really uncomfortable to deal with when she wouldn't stop talking about it and how I will soon be too old to have kids. Of course, I didn't have you and your sister just because your mom pressured me, but I know how it can feel. Just know that I am always on your side, and I think that you shouldn't rush into it. I know that, Mom. You know that I am good at withstanding peer pressure, and this is one thing that I definitely will not budge on. Anyway, thanks a lot for telling me. I will need to have a talk with Julia about what is going on with her. Hey, there's something that I need to talk to you about. My mom gave me a call today. She told me what happened and what you talked about.
What do you mean by that? What did she tell you?
Well, she told me that you went over to her house on Wednesday when you told me that you were working late.
Oh, well, is there really anything wrong with that? I thought that if I had told you that I went to see your mom, you would have gotten upset that I didn't invite you along. But I think it's important for your mom and me to get together on our own every now and then. Don't you think that's a good thing?
No, you're right. I do think that's nice for you two to hang out, just the two of you. That's not really the issue though right now. She also told me what you said about starting a family and how you asked her to convince me of the same without being direct about it.
Oh, damn it. Why did she have to go and tell you? If she wasn't going to go along with it, she could have at least kept quiet about it. Doesn't she know how to keep a secret?
She's my mom and I am her son. Of course she was going to tell me about something like that. This isn't just a regular old secret that we're talking about here.
But I am her daughter-in-law. That should count for something when I ask her to do me a favor. I wish she hadn't blabbed about it to you.
It counts for other things. You know that she thinks highly of you and always treats you well. But what you did is a real problem, Julia. I'm really not happy about it, to be honest.
Why? I don't think that I did anything that could be considered so bad. What's the issue?
What's the issue? You went behind my back to try and get my mom to coerce me into having a baby with you. How can you not see what's wrong with that? This is something that is between you and me. And if there's something to say, then you should be talking to me about it, not anybody else. You shouldn't be being so sneaky about something like this, you know? This is an important decision for the both of us. It's not right for you to use some kind of underhanded tricks to try and make me change my mind about it.
Well, what else was I supposed to do? I tried to tell you what I wanted to do and all you could say was stuff about your business.
That's not true. We didn't really talk about it seriously, and we definitely didn't make any concrete decisions. And all the stuff that I said about the business was directly related to what we had been talking about. I wasn't just changing the subject or anything like that. The way you put it makes it sound like I was.
Okay then. So if I came and told you directly that I wanted to have a kid right now, then you would listen to me and agree?
I wouldn't just agree straight away, but I would definitely listen to you about it. But I have told you lots of times that I want to wait until we have kids. You were completely on board with that as well until just a little while ago. I don't know why you have changed your mind so suddenly, but I am not going to do the same.
So now it's only your thoughts on the matter that are important? What I want doesn't play into this at all.
That's not what I am saying. I am saying that we discussed at length what our future together might look like and came to a decision. I think that if we are going to change those plans, first, there has to be a very good reason for that, and second, there has to be the same level of discussion. I don't think that a quick chat before bed counts as a proper discussion, especially when we're talking about something that is going to change our entire lives. And then for you to go out and try to use my mom to change my mind is really not on. Can't you see how that's not the right way to go about things?
Then what else am I supposed to do? You just said yourself that you don't want to change your mind. Well, then someone has to change your mind for you, right? In my head, I thought that your mom would be the perfect person who could do that. I guess I was wrong about that.
You were wrong about that. My mom told me that I shouldn't give in to any pressure when it comes to something like this. Her mom had also pressured her a lot when she was younger, and she said that it had been a lot to deal with and weighed on her a lot. If anything, she is more on my side than yours.
Typical. Of course she is on your side. Why wouldn't she be?
Listen, I know that your mom has been pushy about it recently, but that doesn't mean that you need to just bow to her wishes. This is our life and our future together. It's not something that we should rush into just because your mom wants to show her friends some photos of her grandkids.
That's not the only thing that's happening here. I told you that she had a point in what she was saying that night. And the more I think about it, the more I agree with her. I don't just want to have a child so that she can show her friends some photos. I want to have a child because I want to. I want to be a mother. I want to start a family of our own. Don't act like my mom is the only one who has some say in what I think. I can think for myself, and I have made this choice as well.
Okay, but this is still a choice that we have to both agree on. You can't just decide this and then go behind my back to try and force me to agree in these roundabout ways. We need to talk about it properly, weigh our options, and decide together. We're not going to rush into this. I don't understand why you are in such a hurry all of a sudden. This isn't a decision that we should be making after one night. We should think about it and then talk about it, then wait and do that again.
Well, to me, it is something that I can decide in one night. I don't need to weigh the pros and cons on everything, especially when I know for sure that it's what I want. Not every decision has to be methodically thought out and have some grand plan about it. I want a child. That's all. It's not that hard to understand, is it?
What I am having trouble understanding is the reason why you changed your mind so quickly. I thought we talked about this.
And I told you that sometimes people change their minds about things that they might have said or done in the past. Sure, I did agree with you before that we should wait to have kids. But now I don't want to do that. I want to have kids now.
Okay, well, you should have just spoken to me about it and had a conversation. I said that this isn't something that I can just decide so quickly. Let me think about it more and then talk about it later, okay? This is a life-changing decision after all.
Whatever. I know that you're not going to even think about it. You have it in your head that you are right and you won't even consider anything else. I know how you think.
I will think about it. But it's not fair for you to try and make me make such a huge decision by using sneaky tactics and not even giving me any time to think.
Hey, are you free right now? Did you want to come along somewhere with me?
I guess so. Where did you need to go? Is there something that we need to take care of? Or did you just want to go somewhere for fun?
Oh, just for fun, you know. The weather is quite nice and I wanted to head out and do something. I thought that you might want to come with me instead of being inside all day.
That sounds good to me. Anywhere in particular that you wanted to go to? I don't really have anything in mind, so I am fine with pretty much whatever.
I was thinking that we could maybe go and get something to eat or at least a coffee and a snack somewhere. And then why not drop into Target and take a look there as well?
Sure, I guess we can do that. Was there something that you needed to get from there? What are we shopping for?
Oh, nothing in particular, really. I just thought we could go there and take a look around. Maybe they could have something that we could use for the house. It's your day off today as well, right? You don't have any work to do right now, do you?
No work for me to do right now. Let's go then. It's not a bad idea to get out of the house and spend some time together. I wouldn't mind getting some fast food either. It might not be that great to eat all the time, but I do like it every now and then. It's been ages since I have had a Big Mac.
Oh my god, come over here, Brad! Look at all of these! They are so cute.
What do you have there?
Look at this little onesie! It has little giraffes on it, and there is a hood as well so that the baby can look like a baby giraffe! Isn't that adorable?
I guess so, yeah. It's pretty cute. Small stuff is always cute, isn't it?
Come on, you can be a little bit more enthusiastic about it. All of this stuff is so nice. And it's not just because it's small. Look at the design and the little pom-poms on this one. I can't wait until we have a baby and we can go out and start getting things like this. Our baby is going to be so cute. I can't wait. We can dress him or her up in all the cutest stuff. Everyone will melt when they see them.
Julia, I can see what you're doing. Was this the whole point of coming to Target today? Just so you could do this? I thought you just wanted to get out of the house and do something, but that doesn't seem to be the case.
What do you mean? What am I doing? I thought we were just looking around. We are just out of the house doing something.
Yeah, but you come directly to the baby section and start gushing about having a kid again and how cute everything is. Come on, I can see what you're trying to do.
And what exactly is it that I am trying to do then?
You're bringing me here to show me and talk about baby clothes again in another attempt to sway my decision. Don't pretend that you don't know what you're doing. It's pretty obvious what your plan is here.
What's the harm in just looking at some of these items? It's not like I am going to buy any of them.
You don't have to bring me out here just for this express purpose. I told you that I don't like that you're trying to use backhanded tricks to get the idea of having a baby in my head.
Fine. Sorry for thinking that it might be fun for the both of us to come to Target and just look around a little bit. Let's go home then.
We can look around. It's just that I don't understand why we came all the way out here just to look at baby stuff for no reason.
Because I want to have a baby! How much clearer do I have to make it for you?
You have made that pretty clear, but I am also trying to make it clear to you that I don't want you to go about it in this way. Tricking me into it is the worst way to go about it.
Fine, let's just go. I don't want to look at anything else anyway.
Let's at least go and get something to eat, though. Might come out here and then go straight home. You were the one who suggested getting some food in the first place.
No, I want to go straight home. You have put me in a bad mood and I am not hungry anymore. You can go and eat somewhere if you want, but you're going to have to do it alone. And after you drop me off at home as well.
Hey, Sam. Sorry that I am a little late. Been having a few arguments with the wife again. It happens day after day now. It's getting really tiring, to be honest. What's been going on with you? How are the kids? Growing up fast, I am sure. No kidding. You look pretty worn out. Everything is fine with me on the other hand. The kids are great as well. George just started playing basketball. He got into it all of a sudden without any warning. He came home one day from school and begged us to let him play for some local team. Turns out that one of the kids brought a basketball to school and then they shot some hoops afterwards in a park. He enjoyed it so much that he just had to start playing himself. That's not a bad hobby to get into. Better than just sitting around playing games all day. I've heard that that's what a lot of kids do these days, especially those who are still in grade school. Crazy, isn't it? When we were that age, we didn't even have the internet, let alone phones and games and all the rest of it. Yeah, but that's because we're getting old. And we did have the internet at least. But it was the old dial-up system. You couldn't even use the phone and use the internet at the same time. It was a real pain when you were trying to use the internet and then your mom would yell at you to get off because she had to make a phone call. Yeah, that's fair. We did have that. But it's not even close to the sort of technology kids have at their fingertips these days. You're right, it's a completely different thing. But we're getting older and times are changing. I am glad that my son has been interested in sports now. I mean, kids that age get into things at the slightest push. I hope he doesn't get bored of it after a while and call it quits, though. I'm sure he won't. If he has a good time playing, then there is no reason for him to quit just like that. Let's hope so, anyway. He hasn't been playing for that long, so it's still fun. It's sticking with something that is more difficult for the kids, I think. And then it will be good if the younger one sees George playing sports and decides to follow him in that when he is old enough. Younger siblings usually do that sort of thing. But on the other hand, they also like to be different and he might end up doing something else. I don't mind if he doesn't do basketball. They don't have to do the same thing exactly. But as long as it's something active, then I will be happy. To be honest, I would love Harry to play baseball. Basketball is all well and good, but you know I love a good baseball game. He might even take an interest in all my collector cards, too. Now that really is an old man talking. Do kids really care about that sort of thing these days? A bunch of dusty old cards? I'll have you know that they're not dusty in the slightest. I have them all in plastic sleeves so that they stay in good condition. You know what I mean. I don't mean literally covered in dust.
I know. I have no idea if you would be interested in them or not. We'll just have to wait and see.
How old is little Harry now, anyway? Is it going to be that much longer before he starts the sport up?
He's going to turn 5 later on this year, so it might be a couple more years. But it all depends when he decides that he wants to do something. I could technically register him whenever, but I don't want to push him into anything that he doesn't want to do himself.
Yeah, you can say that again. My old man made me play tennis for a while when I was a kid. Didn't ask if I wanted to or anything. He loved it, so he just signed me up and I had to do it. It wasn't until I started skipping practice after he dropped me off that he realized that he should let me quit. The instructors had to call him to make sure that I was okay when I didn't show up. It happened enough times that he finally caught on and let me stop.
Yeah, that's the last thing that I want to happen. But enough about that. What's going on with you and Julia? What are you all arguing about so often? I thought you had a pretty good marriage with her and almost never argued.
That's the thing. It used to be like that. But recently things have changed a little. Well, only one thing.
And that one thing is making you fight all the time? That must have been a pretty major change. What happened?
She wants a baby. That's what. And she is really pushing me towards that now.
Oh yeah, that will do it. Didn't you two agree to not have kids just yet? Isn't that what you told me?
We did. We talked a lot about our future and decided to wait. I am still on board with that plan, but it seems like she isn't anymore. The thing is that it happened really out of nowhere. Her mother came over for dinner one night and started talking about how we needed to start a family and give her grandchildren. And just like that, she has been in my face about it ever since that night. There wasn't even a mention of the topic before that. I think that she just has baby fever at the moment, and I hope that it will pass in a little while and then she will realize that the plan that we had set out still makes the most sense. I mean, I'm still in the process of starting this business and getting it on track and stable. I don't think having a kid right now is going to be good for anyone. I won't be able to focus on work. But then when I am at work, I won't be able to support her with caring for the baby. And there is always a risk that the company won't do well and we go into debt or at least don't have a stable income. It seems like a no-brainer to me to just wait for a year or two and then think about it more seriously.
And she doesn't want to do that, I gather?
Not at all. She's even been trying to basically trick me into wanting kids too.
How is that even possible? How can someone trick you into that?
First, she secretly met with my mom and asked her to talk to me indirectly and also mentioned that I should have kids and that stuff. Of course, my mom just came to me and told me what had happened and said that I shouldn't fall into any pressure from others. Then the other day, she asked me to come to Target with her and went straight to the baby section and started gushing about how cute everything was and how she can't wait until we can come and buy this stuff for our baby. I don't mind it if she seriously wants to talk to me about changing our plans, but she doesn't. I don't appreciate how she is trying to manipulate me into this. It's a big life-changing decision and it shouldn't be made like this.
I agree with you on that one. And getting your mom involved like that? That's a bit too far in my opinion. Listen to me. I have kids, obviously, and I would say that my wife and I both rushed into it a little too fast. We were young and had just gotten married and thought that the sooner we started a family, the better. But looking back on it now, we should have been more prepared. The amount of time and effort you need to put into raising a child is immense. I can't overstate that. That's not to say that I regret having my kids. Not at all. I love them to death and would do anything for them. But at the same time, we could definitely have been in a better situation financially when we decided to have kids. Then everything would have been easier for us. It worked out in the end, but it was probably more of a struggle than it had to be.
That's basically where I am coming from. I love kids and I do want to have a family at some point. But since we decided together that we would wait, I don't think that we should just change those plans on what seems like a whim. But Julia doesn't want to listen to me when I say that. She just accuses me of thinking that what I want and think is more important.
It's a hard conversation to have. I don't know what the best thing for you to do really is right now. But what I will say is that while you can never be fully prepared to have kids, you can definitely be better prepared for them. It's not something that you should be rushing into and not a decision to be made overnight. I think you already know that, but I thought I would let you know as someone who actually has kids of his own.
Yeah, I'm aware. But thanks anyway. It's good to know that I am not alone in thinking that rushing into it isn't the best idea. I would really prefer it if Julia would just calm down and talk to me about it more reasonably. But she often ends up just getting angry instead.
Sorry about that.
Too bad this is something that I can't help you out with. It's alright. There are always some things in life that we have to go through on our own. Hey, I'm home. I decided to come home a little earlier than normal. And Sam said he was tired and wanted an early night as well. What are you doing up here? You going to bed this early? That's not really like you. You're usually watching TV and winding down around this time.
Oh, Brad. You're home already? Hey.
Yeah, I'm home. What's up? You almost seem a little spooked to see me. Did I scare you?
Oh, I just didn't think you would be home this early, so you gave me a bit of a shock when you walked up here. I thought I was alone up here. You gave me a real start.
Sorry about that. I didn't mean to scare you or anything. I thought that you would have heard me come in the door. But what are you doing anyway? Hold on. What's that you've got? What's behind your back? Why are your hands behind your back?
Nothing. I don't have anything. What are you talking about? How about we go into the living room and put something on the TV? You're right that this is normally the time that I would be watching something. Let's go and watch something together. You go first and I will meet you in there later. You can even choose what we watch.
Hold on. What were you doing when I came in? Seriously, show me your hands.
Why? I don't have to show you anything. I don't have anything in my hands anyway.
I can see that you're holding something. What do you have to hide from me? You're acting really suspicious right now. Julia, what's going on? Show me.
Fine. Here. Happy? Is that what you wanted?
What the hell is this? What were you doing with this?
Nothing! I wasn't doing anything!
My condoms and a pin. Were you actually doing what I think you were? Were you actually pricking holes in the condoms without me knowing so that I might get you pregnant?
I wouldn't do something like that. Don't ask such ridiculous questions.
That was a rhetorical question. I can see clear as day that that was what you were doing. That's the only thing that you could possibly be doing, and that's why you tried to hide it when I came in. What is wrong with you? You can't do something like that. Julia, this isn't okay at all. What are you thinking? I'm seriously speechless right now.
Well, how else am I supposed to have a kid if you don't want one? I figured this was the only option left to me because you never listen to me.
You don't even talk to me about it for the most part. You just try to trick me using some sneaky methods. And if I try to talk to you about it, you get really defensive and it turns into an argument.
Why should I have to explain myself to you about it? There's nothing else to say. You always want to talk and discuss and blah, blah, blah. What's there to talk about? I want a kid and I want one now. We don't need to have a discussion about it.
This is insane, though. You know that this is basically a crime. People have been charged before for doing stuff like this.
Oh, shut up. That's not true. What crime is this? The crime of wanting to have a baby? I would like to hear you tell me just exactly what law there is against that. And in what country, too.
Obviously, that isn't what I am talking about. It's not a crime to want to have a baby, but to damage condoms like that without me knowing is. That's sexual assault of some kind. Do you even realize what you have done?
Stop being so stupid and sensitive. Sexual assault? Get real. I didn't assault you. I haven't even touched you. How could I have assaulted you if I haven't even touched you? We're standing across the room from one another.
No, but that's still what the crime was judged to be. I'm not saying that you have assaulted me. I'm just saying how serious what you are doing is. For example, not wearing a condom when the other person thinks that you are is illegal. This is sort of the reverse of that situation.
Those aren't even close to being the same thing.
They're not the same, but they are similar. One has the risk of passing on STIs when one person thinks they are using protection. The other one runs the risk of a pregnancy when one person thinks that they are using protection. They're not exactly analogous, but they both violate one's sexual partner's consent. That's what's happening here as well.
Since when did you become such an expert on the law, huh? Did you go to law school without me realizing it?
I'm not an expert, but this is something that I have heard about. Anyway, that doesn't matter. Don't deflect. Give me those. These are going straight in the bin. I seriously can't believe that you would really think that this was a good idea. You can stay up here tonight, but I am sleeping on the couch for a while. I don't even want to be in here right now.
What? You're going to sleep on the couch? Then how are we supposed to have a baby at all like that?
We're not having one. We both have to agree to that. It's not something that you can force me into doing, and especially not like this. Brad, I have a very serious conversation that I need to have with you. I'm not very happy with what Julia has been telling me. It seems as though things between you aren't going along as they should be. Pauline, what do you mean? What serious conversation? What did Julia tell you about us? As far as I can tell, things aren't going too badly. Julia told me that the two of you haven't been having sex recently. I don't think that's very good of you to withhold something like that. She wants a baby, and this isn't the way to give her what she wants now, is it? What? Why is she telling you things like that? That's a private matter between me and her. She has been very pushy about having kids ever since you started talking about it, and it has been causing some issues, if I am honest. But even so, our sex life is something that is between the two of us, and I don't think you should be getting involved in the conversation. Because I am her mother. Of course she is going to talk to me. Do you really think that the two of us have any secrets between us? Sure, maybe the two of you talk about everything, but I don't think you should be asking me these sorts of things. Like I said, this is a private matter. It doesn't really concern you, Pauline. And I wonder if she really told you the full story anyway. It does concern me when it stops me from having grandkids. You can't get her pregnant if the two of you aren't even having sex in the first place. I've told you my thoughts on this, and I want you to hurry up with it. With respect, it doesn't really matter what you want in this regard. This is a decision that Julia and I need to make together, and she has stepped across a line recently that has put that on hold for a while. What do you mean it doesn't matter what I think? Of course it does. I should have a say in this as much as anyone. No, I'm sorry, but that's not how it works at all. I know you want grandkids, but you will have to wait. You're just upset about her trying to poke holes in the condoms, right? Is that why you two aren't having sex? You know about that? I guess she really did tell you the full story. Well, basically, yes, that is why. I don't really trust myself or her to do that now. I just have the feeling that she is going to do whatever she can to force me to get her pregnant somehow. I'm not agreeing to that just because it's something that she wants. It's not something that she can force me to do. Why are you being so soft about this? Who cares if she tried to stick a few pinholes in some condoms? You caught her, didn't you? So no harm came of it anyway. I don't know why you would stop having sex over something that silly. I have heard of wives withholding sex from their husbands, but never of a husband doing that to his wife. What kind of man are you? It's not something small or silly at all. This was a huge breach of trust. I know that she has baby fever or something right now, but that was a huge no. She can't trick me into having kids, and she can't do that sort of thing behind my back. You can't blame her for this, Brad. She wants a child, and she is well within her rights to have one. You're the one who is being difficult and causing problems. She wants a kid. You should think about letting her have her way regarding that before someone else does. Excuse me? What is that even supposed to mean? What are you trying to suggest, Pauline? I am not suggesting anything, and I didn't mean anything either. I am just stating the facts. It would seem to me that you should think about that a little more carefully. Guess what? I have some really big news. This is so exciting that I can hardly hold it in. What is it? What happened? You look super excited. I can see it all over your face. What could have gotten you like this? You have to guess. I just told you that. Oh, come on. Don't make me do that. You know that I won't be able to guess. I don't even know the general realm of what you're talking about. Yeah, you would never guess this. Fine, I will cut to the chase, but it would have been more fun if you at least tried to guess a little bit. It's impossible to ever guess something when someone says guess what. Just hurry up and tell me. I'm pregnant! I am going to have a baby! Wait, what? Are you being serious right now? You're telling me that you're actually pregnant. Like you're having a baby.
Is there another meaning of the word pregnant that I don't know about? That's exactly what I am telling you. Of course I am being serious. This isn't something that I would joke about. You should know that better than anyone.
But that can't be right. There's just no way that you're pregnant. How can this be? I don't understand.
Why not? Why is that impossible? I know that you were against having a kid, but don't use that to make it seem impossible.
No, that's not what I meant. But we haven't been having sex. So how could you be pregnant? We haven't had sex since I caught you pricking holes into my condoms. There's no way that you could be pregnant because of that. You can't get pregnant without having sex, Julia. What's going on?
Obviously, you need to have sex to get pregnant. Come on, I'm not a teenager in need of a sex ed lesson. And while it's true that we haven't been having sex for a little while, it must have been from before then, and I just didn't notice. Even condoms aren't 100% foolproof, you know. I felt some symptoms that, when I looked them up, sounded like they might be morning sickness, and I decided to do a pregnancy test, and then it said that it was positive. I really am pregnant.
No, this still doesn't make sense. It's been like 3 months and only now you decided to take a test? Look at you. There's no sign of you being pregnant at all. You couldn't look like that over a third of the way through your pregnancy, right? And you never even mentioned any of these symptoms to me. We wake up together every morning and you never complained about it once?
Why? That can happen sometimes. Women all have different bodies and their bodies react in different ways. I guess that's what's happening with me. And I didn't want to say anything because you're busy with work and didn't want to complain about something that I didn't myself understand the cause of.
Did you just take one of those tests that you get from the pharmacy?
Yeah, why? What else would I have done? What other test is there?
Then maybe that explains the result. That could be the problem here. You know those types of tests aren't always right. They can sometimes give false positives. I don't think it's right, to be honest.
Don't be like this. You're just not happy about the news, but that doesn't mean that you should be trying to shut me down.
I'm not even doing that. This just makes no sense to me at all. You should go and get tested at a clinic. Those tests are always going to be correct. I just won't believe it any other way. This is too impossible to even consider. You can't get pregnant if we haven't been having sex.
I already told you that it must have been from before then. But fine, I will do what you want and go to a clinic for a test. Will you believe me then?
Then I will believe that you are pregnant, yes. But I am sorry to say that the chances are very low. The other test you did must have been a false positive.
I know that it wasn't. But I will get the test just to prove to you that I really am pregnant. So I did the test and the results are back. Do you want to know what they said?
Of course I do. But I am sure that I already know the answer.
Well, if you still think that you were right about what you said before, that would make you wrong. Ironic, isn't it?
Wait, what? So that means that you really are pregnant. Is that what you're telling me right now?
Yes! I am pregnant! That's what I have been trying to tell you. The basic test and now this clinic test both said the same thing. I am having a baby. Do you believe me now? There's no way that you're going to say that the clinic is wrong too, are you?
No, I don't think that they are wrong. You must be having a baby after all.
Thank you! Was that so hard? You could have just believed me when I told you myself. Then I wouldn't have had to drag myself to the doctors.
I said that you are having a baby, but I don't think that the baby is mine.
What? What are you even saying right now? How could the baby not be yours? Are you crazy?
No, I am not crazy. I don't see how the baby could be mine. There is simply no way that that is possible. We haven't been having sex now for quite some time, and before that we always used protection.
But it doesn't always work. There's nothing that is 100% foolproof. I told you that before as well.
It doesn't matter. The timing doesn't make sense either. It simply cannot be my baby. I just know that it isn't.
So what then? What are you trying to say? Are you accusing me of cheating?
That's the only way that you could have gotten pregnant like this. Nothing else makes sense.
How can you say that? I can't believe that I am trying to share a happy moment with you about having a baby and you come out and accuse me of cheating. Just because you don't want a baby right now doesn't mean that you can say these things to me to make yourself feel better.
I'm not trying to make myself feel better. How on earth would thinking that my wife cheated on me make me feel better? But there is no other way for this to have happened. It's seriously impossible that it is my child.
It's not impossible! Stop being so stupid about this. This is your baby and you need to deal with that. I don't care that this goes against your plan or whatever, or that you think you might not be ready. This is your child and you need to get over all of your hang-ups and raise them with me. You're going to be a father.
No, I cannot accept this. I want to take a paternity test. I need to see that test.
You don't trust me that much? You really want to have a paternity test to prove that you're the dad?
Yes, that's exactly what I want. Otherwise, I will not believe that you are pregnant with my child.
You're being ridiculous. We can't even do that sort of test until the baby is born. You're going to have to wait a long time to get those results. You should just accept that you're the dad already and forget about that sort of thing.
That's not true. We can have a test while the baby isn't born yet.
Wait, what? That's actually possible?
Yes, and that way we can see just how far along you are in the pregnancy as well. We're getting that test. Otherwise, I will not believe that I am the father.
Here you go again! First you wouldn't believe the pregnancy test that I took, and now you want another test to prove this. Why can't you just trust me on this?
Because I can't. You must have cheated on me, otherwise you would not be pregnant right now. I am not going to argue with you anymore about this. I want that test and I won't be sleeping here until we get it.
Are you serious? And where are you going to sleep then? This is your house!
It doesn't matter where I am going to sleep. That doesn't concern you. But if the baby really is mine like you say it is, then you shouldn't have any problems with getting a paternity test, right? Or is there some other reason that you're against it?
I'm not against it. I just think this is something that you should trust me on. I don't like that you're accusing me of cheating. How would you feel if I did that to you for no reason?
If there was no reason, I would feel pretty bad, of course. But I do have a reason, and I have never given you a reason to think that I have been cheating on you, because I haven't been. I'm leaving now, but you can decide what to do. I want that test, and you shouldn't have a problem with it. Not wanting to get it is suspicious enough in my eyes. Book an appointment and tell me. I will be there and we can sort this out once and for all. If I really am the father, then I will apologize for this. But I cannot put my mind to ease without it.
Fine! I will get the stupid test! But why do you have to leave and stay somewhere else? What's the point in that?
I don't want to be here while there is a chance that you have been sleeping with someone else behind my back. Maybe my worries are all for nothing. But I don't really think that that is the case. Text me when you make an appointment. I knew it! I just knew that the baby wasn't mine. No wonder you were just saying that I should trust you and that we didn't need to do the test. Of course you knew that the test would prove what I knew to be the case. How did you think I wouldn't catch on? Do you really think that I am that stupid? Did you think I wouldn't work out what had happened?
Just calm down for a second, would you? I don't think you're stupid. I never said that. And there's no need to be yelling right now. That's not going to solve anything. Just take a seat and take a few deep breaths. Okay? Can you do that for me?
Calm down? Calm down? How am I supposed to calm down? You've been cheating on me and are now pregnant with another man's child. And you want me to calm down? Not only did you cheat on me, but you tried to pass the baby off as mine. What the hell is wrong with you? How can you even be so calm right now? Don't you see the gravity of the situation? Just how long have you been cheating on me then, huh? How long has this affair been going on?
I wasn't cheating on you. And there is no affair either. It's not like I fell in love with someone else or anything like that. I still love you.
What the hell does that even mean? You can't just say I love you and pretend that nothing has happened. That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. If you love someone, you don't go out and cheat on them and then pretend that someone else's baby is theirs. Why do I even have to explain something that basic to you? What the hell is going on? I feel like I am losing my mind here. This should be the most obvious thing in the whole world.
I'm saying that I didn't cheat on you, but I wanted a baby so badly. You know how much I wanted to start a family.
And so you thought that you would find someone else to start a family with? That was your bright idea. You couldn't trick me with your mind games and by trying to get my mother in on your stupid plan. So you thought that cheating on me was the next step?
All I wanted was to start a family with you, but you didn't want to have a baby. I thought that the only thing that I had left to do was to get pregnant by someone else, but then raise the child with you. I never wanted to have a family with someone else. I only ever wanted to have a family with you. And this baby could be the way that we do that. Just because this baby might be someone else's doesn't mean that we can't raise it together. Just pretend that the baby is yours and we can have our dream of starting our own family. I know that you think that it's a little too early, but it will be fine. We will totally be able to manage even with you running your business and all the rest of the stuff that you have been worried about. Trust me, this is not that big of a deal. You will see that once you calm down.
I can't believe those words just came out of your mouth. You want me to pretend that the baby is mine? What the hell? There is no chance that I am going to do that. Why on earth would I do that? I can't even comprehend the fact that you want me to look past you cheating on me with another man and being pregnant with his kid and then just what? Pretend the baby is mine and be a happy family?
Well, why not? You could have been the father if you hadn't been so stubborn about this. I told you so many times that I wanted a baby and to start a family, but you wouldn't listen to me. What else was I supposed to do, huh? You didn't give me any other option. You took the option of having a child with you off the table completely. What did you want me to do if not this?
You were supposed to do literally anything but this. Literally anything else would have been fine. This is the most insane and outlandish thing I think I have heard in my entire life. Just because I didn't want to have a baby right now and you were so keen on it, doesn't mean that this was the way for you to do things. If we were going to start a family, that had to happen on terms that worked for both of us. I have said it before and I will say it again. You can't manipulate and trick me into deciding when I am ready to have a child. You know that I did want to start a family with you at some point, but that was supposed to be a year or two from now. We had talked about it so much. I had explained it to you so many times. And then you go out and do this to me?
But I wanted a baby now and not 2 or 3 years into the future. Why can't you understand that? Why does that not matter at all in this? Was I supposed to just wait around and waste away until you were ready to have a kid?
Who said anything about waiting around and wasting away? When was that ever something that you were supposed to do? The whole idea was that we get our careers in order, have a good financial reserve, and then have a baby who we can spend most of our energy on caring for and raising.
We can still do that with this child, though. Even if it's earlier than you wanted it. Now I have a baby on the way and we can still do most of that together.
No. I can't believe you really think that is going to happen. None of that can ever happen now. Not together. We're not doing anything together anymore. We're not going to live together. We're not going to sleep together. And we're definitely not going to raise a baby together. Don't you even understand what you have done? You tried to play off this baby as my own child. After you cheated on me. This is not what is supposed to happen in a marriage. We were supposed to be a team. A faithful team. Faithful to each other only.
I said already that it wasn't really cheating. It was more of a transaction than anything else. That's all it was. It didn't mean anything.
So you told this guy that this was what you wanted? That you just wanted him to get you pregnant and that was it?
Well, no. I didn't tell him any of that, but that's what I was thinking. There were no feelings or emotions involved. It was just to get the deed done so that I got pregnant.
This is insane. I can't talk to you right now. I can't even look at you. I'm leaving. I feel like my brain is going to explode. This is absolute madness.
Brad, wait! Where are you going? Let's talk about this. Isn't that what you always want to do? Isn't this something we can discuss? Brad, stop! Don't walk out of here!
Brad, what on earth are you doing? Julia told me that you walked out of the house after an argument and haven't been home in a few days. You won't even respond to any of her texts or calls. Is this the way you think you should treat the mother of your child? Just think about how much stress she is under because you are ignoring her right now. You need to go home and talk to her, or at the very least call her back. Actually, scratch that. Don't bother calling her. Just go home to her. That's what you need to do. She is not the mother of my child. She is the mother of someone else's child. I don't know who that man might be, but one thing is for certain, and that is that I am not the father of that baby. And who do you think you are to text me and demand that I go back or call her? I don't have to listen to you. I am your mother-in-law, and you should listen to what I have to say to you. All the rest of it is just semantics. She's the mother of the baby that you two will raise together. And this baby is going to be my grandkid as well. Julia is really stressed and upset right now because you won't come home. This isn't good for the baby, you know. What if she has a miscarriage? What will you do then? I am not raising that baby. There is no way in hell that I am going to do that. And if she is stressed and upset, then maybe she should think a little about how I am feeling right now. I don't really care much about how she is feeling, to be perfectly frank with you, Pauline. It would be a shame if something did happen to the child, but it's got nothing to do with me. It's beyond me to care about something like that right now. How can you be so cruel? That's not the kind of thing that I thought I would ever hear you say. She is your wife. How can you not care about how she is feeling? It's your job as her husband to care about her and make sure that she is okay. You need to get over whatever you're anxious about and go home to her right now. Forget about your feelings for the time being and make sure that she is doing all right. That's what you need to do. How she feels is much more important than your own feelings. I would have liked to think that you were aware of something like that without me having to tell it to you outright. Oh, shut up, Pauline. Like I care about what you have to say to me about this. You have some nerve trying to lecture me about what I should be doing as a husband. What about what she should have been doing as a wife? Or rather, what she shouldn't have been doing. I wouldn't be surprised if you were the one behind this somehow. You never seem to be surprised or shocked at what Julia has been doing or how she has been acting these past months. It's probably all you're doing in your insane quest to have grandkids so you can show some photos to your stupid friends. And Julia is my wife now, only in a technical sense. The two of us are obviously done. What? Don't tell me that you're thinking about divorce. That's not the right thing to do. She would be a single mother. You can't put that kind of burden on her alone. You need to think about everything before saying words like that. It's not something to just say lightly. For her sake, I won't mention that you said that to me. But you better not just throw those kinds of ideas out there like that anymore. It's not becoming of you to do that. You hear me? She cheated on me and tried to pretend that she was pregnant with my child. How do you possibly think that I would stay married to her? She chose that burden when she decided to behave in the way that she did. I'm not going to be here to pick up the pieces and make everything all right again. And you don't have to worry about whether you tell her that or not. I will tell her that myself. I can't exactly get a divorce without her knowing about it now, can I? It would be nice to not have to talk to her anymore, but I will need to until the divorce is finalized. But apart from that, she can go to hell for all I care. And you can go there along with her too. Before your mother tells you what we talked about, I thought that I would tell you myself.
Brad, finally you're texting back. Why were you ignoring my messages? Where have you been for the last few days? Can you please come home already? It's been long enough for you to calm down a little bit and get yourself together. Come back and we can talk about this properly, without all the shock and emotions that were there when I first told you.
You didn't tell me anything. I found out about it because we took a paternity test. Those are two different things. What's more, I am not coming back. Not until you're out of there, at least. I don't want to be in the same room as you, even.
What do you mean? Why do I have to leave? This is my home too, you know. Where are you saying that I am supposed to go to instead?
I couldn't care less about where you go to. I just need you out of there. Go and stay with your mom since you're so alike. She can be closer to her grandchild and you can both have a grand time being excited over the baby and even go and buy some adorable little onesies together. Doesn't that sound like a plan? Isn't that something that you would like to do?
That's something that I want to do with you, not my mom. Come home and then we can do that together. There's lots of things that we need to buy and get ready before the baby comes. There is still lots of time, but it doesn't hurt to be prepared, right?
You don't seem to understand that I am not raising that kid with you. I will have nothing to do with it. We're getting a divorce, Julia. The two of us are done. There is nothing left between us. It's over.
What? You're not really being serious about that, are you? How can you even suggest getting a divorce? We're about to have a baby.
We're not about to have anything. You're about to have a baby. I'm not. I don't have anything to do with that child.
Hold on. You can't do this. We've been together for almost 4 years and you want to throw that all away? You can't.
I can do that. And I am not the one who was throwing anything away. You did that when you decided that cheating on me was a good idea. I don't know how you were so stupid to think that I would just look past it and not care.
I thought that you wouldn't notice. I thought that you would just be happy once I said that there was a baby on the way. Maybe you were nervous about having a baby, but once you heard the news, I thought that you would think that this was the right time after all.
You thought I wouldn't notice? How could I not notice something like that? It was so obviously not my kid that I didn't even really need a test to confirm that. I only asked for one because you wouldn't stop lying to me about it and denying that you cheated.
Wait, but it was all my mom's idea. It wasn't me. She told me that if you weren't ready to have a kid yet, or at least not ready to try to have one, that you would change your mind once you knew that I was pregnant. And since we weren't even having sex anymore because you didn't trust me, the only way that I could get pregnant was with someone else.
Of course. I knew that she must have had something to do with it. I could just tell that she was there in the shadows feeding you stupid ideas. Tell me, was the poking holes in the condoms her idea as well? I was so shocked that you would even try such a thing. That must have been something she told you to do as well, right?
Yes, it was. I'm sorry, but it's not my fault. She told me to do all that because she wanted grandkids as soon as possible. And, well, I wanted a kid too, so I went along with it.
How is that not your fault? Maybe your mom is deranged enough to suggest to you that you do that kind of thing, but you didn't have to do it. You could have said no and not done it if you wanted to, but you listened to her instead. No, there's nothing more that you can tell me. Blame your mom all you want, but you're the one who actually went through with the ridiculous plans.
So, what are you suggesting that I do now? Am I supposed to raise this baby all on my own? I don't want to do that. Being a single mother will be too much for me. I never planned on something like that. And I think that a child should have both parents around to raise them. That's the best way, you know. You can't leave me to raise this baby on my own.
You don't have to raise the baby on your own. Who said anything about that?
But isn't that what you're telling me that I have to do if we get a divorce? Now you're not making any sense.
We are getting a divorce, but that doesn't mean that you have to raise the baby on your own. You just said so yourself that the best thing for the child is to have both parents around to raise them. Well, I am not the father, but there is a father of that child around somewhere. Tell the man you cheated on me with that he's going to be a father and have a family with him.
I don't want to do that. I wanted to have a family with you, not him. I refuse to do that.
It doesn't matter what you wanted. You did the worst possible thing to make your wish a reality. Find him and tell him. Even if you're not together, he should probably still know about it.
That's not even possible. I told you that it wasn't cheating because I didn't know him. He was just some random guy that I met somewhere one time. That's all. Even if I wanted to, I wouldn't be able to find him and tell him that, let alone actually get together and raise the child with him.
Just because you don't know him doesn't make it not cheating. If it's impossible, as you say, then I guess being a single mother really is your only option now. I'm sure your mom will help out since she was the one who was so excited about having a grandchild. Either way, it has nothing to do with me anymore. I am wiping my hands of the situation. Sort it out on your own. We're getting a divorce. That's final. I'm going to get in contact with a lawyer and suggest that you do too. The sooner that we can get out of each other's lives, the better.
No! I don't want to get a divorce! This wasn't supposed to happen! Please, Brad, just come home and let's talk about it! Brad, please! I am begging you to come back now! Just stop all this talk of divorce and let's try and forget about this whole thing. Let's pretend that it didn't happen and we will go back to how things were before. Can't we do that?
I am not coming home until you are out of there. I told you that already. And how am I supposed to just pretend that none of this happened when you're pregnant with another man's child? Can you tell me that, Julia? Just exactly how am I supposed to ignore that little detail?
I've thought about it. I can get an abortion. If I get an abortion, then I won't be pregnant with his baby anymore. Then we can forget about the whole thing. We can wait to have our own baby until you're ready. Maybe I was being too rash with it and tried to rush it. I can see that now. But I will wait this time. You were right that we had discussed and decided together that we would wait. So that is what we should do.
I guess it's true what they say, that hindsight is 20/20. But none of that matters now. You could have thought about that earlier and come to that conclusion before you pulled this insane stunt. But now it is too late. It is much too late. And getting an abortion? Well, I won't say anything about that. You can decide yourself what you want to do about that, but it won't change anything in my view. Even if the baby isn't on the way anymore, it doesn't change the fact that you cheated on me and tried to pretend that the baby was mine. That's not even mentioning the way you were acting before that, too. This isn't something that I can look past. And I don't think that anyone else could do that either. So you can get the abortion if you want to, but don't get it because you think that it will somehow make me forgive you or bring me back to you. It won't, and I want to be very clear about that. You really wanted a baby, to the point where you didn't even care who the father was going to be. It seems sad and even cruel to now go ahead and abort the baby because you didn't get things to work out the exact way that you wanted them to.
Why doesn't it change anything, though? I admit that, okay, I did cheat on you, but it wasn't out of any feelings for this other guy. If the baby isn't around anymore, then can't we just try to work through the fact that I cheated? Do we really have to get a divorce just because of that? There are plenty of couples who work things out and stay together even if one of them was unfaithful. Can't we try and do that as well? What's stopping us?
Maybe there are couples that do that, but I think it's a stupid thing to do, to be honest. They can do that and good for them. I am not a person who will forgive a partner for cheating on me. That's all there is to it. I will never be able to trust you again, and even the thought of sharing a bed with you again makes me sick. There is no way forward for us from here. The only thing left to do is get a divorce and remove each other from our lives. What you do with the baby is your own choice, and your choice alone. I hope that you think about it carefully, though, and don't do anything too rash like you did with your recent decision. If you get an abortion, that's a life that will never come back. You should consider things long and hard before you go through with anything. Now, don't message me again. I will contact a lawyer and we can do our communication through them. Like I said before, hire a lawyer for yourself so that we can get this over and done with as soon as possible. Oh, and Julia, there is one more thing that I want to say to you before I go.
Yes, Brad? What is it?
Go to hell. It still took quite a long time for Julia to come to terms with the fact that she had ruined our relationship and that there was no salvaging it in any way. She tried to continually call and text me, and left me voice message after voice message. I ignored her the best I could, but refrained from blocking her until the divorce proceedings were in motion. At one point, she even went to my mom's house to talk to her and try to get my mom on her side to talk me out of the divorce. I hadn't actually even spoken to my mom about what had happened yet, so she must have gotten quite the shock when Julia explained to her what had gone down between us. Needless to say, my mom was definitely not on her side and kicked her out of the house screaming at her the whole while. Eventually, after sensing that there was no hope in us staying together, Julia finally hired a lawyer and we got the divorce proceedings started. It was a tough time for me during that period and I was struggling to work on my business while going through all of that. But in the end, it was done and I could move on with my life. We had bought the house together, so we put it on the market and split the amount that we got on the sale. We still had a mortgage and we lost some in the sale, but what can you do? I moved into a much smaller place that was enough for just me and rented instead. The rent was luckily lower than the mortgage payments, and I hoped to save some money that way and maybe reinvest it into my business. Julia decided not to get an abortion in the end and tried to find the father of the baby. She had apparently met him in a bar in town and went there hoping that he would show up one day. He didn't, and she had to give up on that avenue. Thankfully, she had the good sense not to drink anything alcoholic while she was watching out for him. She moved in with her mother and got ready for the baby to come. She had to resign herself with being a single mother, but at least Pauline was ready to help her. They both found it rather difficult, even Pauline, who obviously had experience raising kids in the past. There were even a few times when Julia had the nerve to ask me for money since she couldn't even get any child support out of the absent father. Of course I said no and blocked her on everything that she could possibly contact me on, and I never heard from her again. It seems that the two of them are struggling through raising the baby during the early stages. It was a rough shock for me to deal with this whole situation. But I am glad that I had the sense to ask for a paternity test and find out that I really was not the father of that child. It seemed rather obvious to me given the circumstances, but the test proved that without any shadow of a doubt. It was very hurtful for me, of course, but at the same time, I do hope that Julia is successful in raising the baby, for the baby's sake. They did nothing wrong and deserve a good life just like anybody else. Now that she made the decision to have the baby and raise it, I hope she follows through with that choice and shows the baby love in all respects. It seems like my own plans to have a family have been pushed back indefinitely, but I have a lot of work to occupy myself with, and that will be my main focus for the foreseeable future.